Welcome to the woodshop stop. What you're looking at is a pile of blocks from pallets. I'm going to figure out what I can make out of these. First, we'll take them to the planer and get them to the same thickness. Thanks for joining me here on the woodshop stop. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Next, we'll stop at the table saw and get these to the same length. And now we're going to rip our pieces. These are about 1 inch thick, closer to 7/8. I'm not really sure what species of wood this is, but I know it's a little bit harder than pine and it's a little bit softer than oak. So it's a pretty good versatile wood. And here's our stack. Now I'm doing a little more trimming, squaring these pieces up a little better. And here they are all laid out. It looks like I'll get 4 boards out of all those pieces. And the rough dimension is going to be around 12 by 20. That's without the handles that I'm going to put on them. I decided to glue these pieces up into 4s and 3s. Here's one of the 3s. And once the glue dried, here I am squaring up those glued up sections. One of the nice things about the crosscut sled is you can square up boards. If you got one flat edge, you can square up a board. Don't forget to hit the like button and share the video. Hit the bell notification if you like videos like this so you'll be notified when future videos come out. Thanks. These will give me a nice square edge for gluing purposes. I'm going to glue these together with biscuit joints because gluing these end grain to end grain would not create a strong enough joint, I do not believe. And here we are gluing up the pieces. This should make these strong enough to handle, say 100 hot dogs stacked up on it. Sorry for the camera footage. The setting was off on my camera and it came out a bit darker than I would prefer. Please bear with me. As you can see, that came together pretty good. I'm adding the clamps on now, and you can see there's some squeeze out. Now the problem is here that clamping too tight, you can cause things to bow. So I had to get just the right amount of pressure on them to get these things to glue up without bowing. And then once they're dry, I'm running them through the planer again to get the thickness down. And I'm truing up the edges as well on the table saw. Just cleaning up everything. As you can see there, some of the edges were uneven. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because of the project that I've got in mind for these. But I don't want to have any jagged edges hanging out. I want a nice flush edge. And that should pretty much do it. I think this is the last piece here. Now these are the supports for the handles. I cut these off screen or off camera. I basically put a 10-degree angle on a 2-inch by 1-inch block of wood. Now I'm finding the center and the location where I want the handle to go, so I can drill a recess to put the handle in. And once I've got them all marked up, now I can take them to the drill press, and you can see there's the recess for the handle. I'm using a 3/4 inch dowel for the handle, and the dowel will fit right into this recess that I'm drilling out with this Forstner bit. Now I've got the depth set, and I've got the stop set, so I can just plop those in there and hold them tight against the fence and the stop, and it'll drill them all the same position. Now that I got them all drilled, I'm sanding down the edges. Now here are the dowels. I'm cutting these to length on the cross-cut sled. I've got a stop set, and I'm cutting these to 6 inches. You might notice the blue T-track on the top of my cross-cut sled, and I'm using a C-clamp and a block of wood. That's because I haven't made my flip-up stop yet. Shame on me. Now here are the handle supports. I decided I wanted to have a notch on the bottom of the handle supports so they would butt up against the end grain, and then I could screw them from the bottom or from the end. Now these, several of these, I wanted to have flat surfaces on the bottom. You'll see that later. So I decided to trim off the angle of those supports. Now here we're doing a little sanding. As you can see, this one's got some kind of interesting grain pattern with all the different wood species combined. Creates an interesting effect. Now I've got the handle glued to the supports, and I'm screwing the handles onto the boards. I drill it first with a countersink, and then glue and screw it on. I could have used a little more glue on that spot there. What was I thinking? You can see how those notches that I made work out better here. You can see as they butt right up to the edge of the boards, edge and the top of the boards. Makes for a nice fit. I thought about buying handles for this project, but I decided that why spend the money when I can make handles? I can come up with something of my own design. These are a little bit different. You can see that the handles are on basically on the lower side of the board instead of up on the top. They're on the sides, kind of. Here I'm adding oil to this board. This is the first one that I completed, and I think that grain looks pretty neat. I just wish that I had caught the center section of this so I could have alternated those three pieces instead of having the two dark pieces with the center blotch spot in it together. And here's a look at that board completed. Now here's all the rest of the boards that I did. Now if you just think back, these were blocks of wood. Thanks for watching. Peace out.